Hello, in this video I'm going to show you the four most universal, straightforward ways to adjust the white balance slash color temperature in your photos and videos. And the basic problem that this is solving is when you've got a photo like this that you've taken, and say in reality this plate was white or gray. Often when you take a photo and you transfer it to your computer, it will look like it has like a blue cast to it that wasn't actually there in real life. Or say this bowl right here was actually white and the plate was a little bit blue, but maybe when you bring it into your photo editor, the bowl looks a little too yellow or something. And things can also have like a greenish tint or a purple tint. And these solutions address all of those problems. And I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of the four sort of main ways that you would tackle that when you're editing a photo or a video. And we'll be using CameraBag here, which works on both photos and videos. And we'll just be using this photo of these blueberries in this bowl. And so the principles here can be applied across a lot of different softwares, but again, we'll be using CameraBag specifically. So to start, often your photo editor will have a white balance or an auto white balance function. And how this works in CameraBag at least, and in a lot of other editors, is that you'll choose a part of the image that's supposed to be neutral. So that can be white or gray or whatever, but you're basically selecting a pixel and saying, this should not be bluish or greenish or purplish or whatever. This should be perfectly evenly gray. So like, for example, and I've got this pixel inspector over here that will show the values I'm hovering over. So this plate underneath this bowl, say in reality, this plate was gray. Whereas in this photo, as you can see, it's blue. The blue pixel values, I'll click on this and it will, whoops, well, it will apply the white balance like it's supposed to. Let me turn off this adjustment. If I click on this pixel, it will store it here. And you can see that the blue value is 92 and the red is 75 and the green is 75 and the red is 59. So basically it's got a bluish tint to it. But if I click on the white balance adjustment and select one of these blue pixels and click it, it will adjust the whole image so that that pixel value now, instead of having a blue tint, it's got an even gray. So the red, green, and blue values of that pixel are about the same as each other. And so it has changed this whole image, and it still may look blue to your eyes because it made everything else more yellow in the image. But the actual reality is it has made this plate be a neutral gray. And so what you do when you're editing a photo like this is you go and things that you knew in real life were actually gray. So maybe this cloth was a perfectly even gray and didn't have any blue or yellow tint to it. I can click on that and it will adjust my whole photo so that now this cloth is actually what is gray. And as I toggle that off and on, you can see the original photo, it had more of a warm yellow hue to it. So that's method number one. Just choose an area of the image using a white balance adjustment and click on it, and it will adjust the whole photo to make that particular part of the image a neutral white balance. Okay, so the second method that we'll talk about, which is one of the most common go-tos, is just a temperature slider. And so this will just make the whole image either more blue or more yellow, cooler or warmer. And so often you'll just have a photo and you'll be like, that looks too warm. You just pull this left and you make it all a little bit cooler. Or if it looks too cool and gray and dead and blue, then you pull this to the right and it will make it warmer. And that's more of a brute force method in a way, but often it will just let you dial in the look that either you're going for. Even if the reality of the photo was more blue and you want it to be warmer, just to look a little bit, warmer, then you can use this adjustment. All right, that's the second method, color temperature slider. Method number three, and this one is very particular to CameraBag, but this can be a very handy method, and there are probably similar things in other softwares. But basically, I've got a whole coloring curve, and I can choose the color that I want to be adding to or taking away from this image. And so this curve, the left-hand side of it represents the darker values, the right-hand side represents the brighter values. If I pull it up here, it's making the brighter values have more yellow. If I pull it over here, it's making the darker values have more yellow. But this gives me a very fine-tuned way to either, like I say, boost certain colors, or if I pull it down below the midway line, it will pull those colors out of the image. So if I'm like, well, I like this photo, but the highlights, the light areas have too much yellow, I can just put a node in here and pull the yellow out of the highlights, and I can adjust exactly what color it's pulling out by tweaking this color adjustment over here. But then it's a subtle thing, but I've pulled yellow gold out of the highlights of that. And this can help you tackle things that, like I say, if it's too green or something, you pull the green out. But as you can see, as you pull green out, it makes things look more purple. And so usually just by finding the right color and the right combination of what to do on this curve, you can get a shockingly targeted and accurate and lifelike coloring adjustment to your photo to adjust your white balance. And the final method that I'll talk about, this one is generally found in video editors only. And in CameraBag, like with everything, you can apply this to photos or videos. But these color wheels are commonly known to video editors, but less so to photo editors. But this is basically a different wheel for either the whole image or the shadows, midtones, or highlights. And basically, if I move the midtones wheel to green, it will take the midtones in that image and make them more green or more red or blue or whatever. And so you're adjusting for each of the shadows, midtones, and highlights. You're colorizing it according to these color wheels. And you can use the different color methods that CameraBag has built in to fine tune that. But if that's your usual way of working, especially if you're a video editor, it can be handy if you're color correcting videos in CameraBag, but also if that's your preferred workflow, and sometimes this can be the easiest way to get just what you want in photos also. But those are the four basic, most useful methods for getting the correct white balance slash temperature adjustment slash color correction in your photos or videos. We hope you found that helpful. Thanks.